because that location's digit off. And, in the rare person is a location that is not being shown. If put out even 500,000 yen, it does not mean that showed anyone. Even so, now that pay a huge sightseeing fee, I guess for something pleasure can be obtained. It is a matter of course. Startling, and fear, is a joy. Thing addition to this world, is what was unimaginable. It involves danger or there may be or danger. In other words, it is a kayaji of adventure. Is not attacked some of the danger. The best of merriment does not get your seen at it is the one who can be seen that kind of thing. Due invitation. If, when was the difference seen in the eagle? Let's now farewell. Quote, the old man of white beard, say so, was likely up the seat. This will also what is one of the tactics of luxury pawn piki. I want, tomorrow night, let's bring the 500,000 yen. What time, where to do I go? Unfortunately, it is fast to understand indeed. So quickly the audience that the decision is the first time. Place led in this bar. Time is 9 o'clock in the afternoon. Then, 9 o'clock the next day in the afternoon, the two have had fallen in the same bar. When the tanamra is out it refers to a bundle of 500,000 yen, 1,000 yen bill. The old man, a little look it up, returned immediately. There is no upfront. From arriving to the other party. Pull maple want. This is a revenue of the other party of the husband. Eagle guess because only get a small portion of this. The two of riding in a vehicle that old man has been prepared. The driver was felt seemed those of fellow of the old man. Running about 40 minutes. With the destination, surrounded by concrete bay. It was a temple of terribly large mansion. The old man put out the key. Opened the door of the old-fashioned cast iron of arabesque. It was to guide the tanamra into the gate, directly in front of the eye. But a large building was towering black. Towards the behind somewhere, dimly only lights are attached. Any window was also dark. The original was a fine house. A desolate is now. I have been used in the warehouse of a company. Old man, a couple of the guards. In this White House, is just only live futari. However, we do not use in this house. Back to you, there is a pond. I enter into the pond. Quote, the old man will whisper such a thing, walk standing ahead. It is to fall into the pond? When the tanamra asks surprised, old man faintly built a laughter. No, it does not enter into the water. You can see right now. As it is fell silent with futari. Walk in the darkness. Eventually, came to a large garden. I guess many fine garden of trees. But not necessarily there's a night light. Without necessarily lights or entered in the lantern. Because all of darkness, cannot see the scenery. Looking at the place where weeds or overgrown flies to the feet. It is like a garden that has been the rough long time does not care. Even though cloudy, empty house bright, in the afterglow, the form of the approximate ones can be seen. Among the big trees lined like a forest. Water of a wide pond came into view. The old man pulling the hand of tanamra, sat down on the shore of the pond. It refers to past 5 meters or will is a pond of a regular oval that was occupied the center of the garden. Black water, was silent still, a while ago, because of a loud a little known. It will put it strange to now. Please have a good look in the pond. The old man said in still whisper. The old pond of midnight. If Kadoguchi to something strange spectacle, was a really wacky idea. Even the horror-habituated Kageotoko, to bizarre curiosity, felt the throbbing of the chest. As the eyes get used to the darkness, has been gradually seen clearly. I thought large garden then, was a deep grove, and suddenly notice, in the pond of about 3 meters from the shore, is standing like a black stake. They are out luck also about 2 feet from the water surface. However, a closer look, it was not at stake. Head was a kind of iron pipe of about diameter of 4 centimeters bent to us cancer neck of kissel. Did you notice? There, I think what it is. Have you somewhere became a look it? Since the old man say, I tried to think of it. Did not stick. Imagine. When the silence in our old man explained. If there is a periscope, it is a periscope. From the submarine, is there a view of the top of the sea? That's right. Then out of that pond, do you someone is, except in the periscope? Well. However, we do not see is so dark. Guess, but only during the day of excluding. Indeed of Kageotoko also had a Kirikai, lurks in the old pond in the garden, an out month-long periscope, and the person who is looking at the outside of the scenery. It will be nothing on earth. Kageotoko that Sagashima only the back side of the world also. Was the first time I came across such a strange guy. This guy seems to have something is worth 500,000 yen. He has been happy enough to tingle. If you look, the periscope that protrudes from the pond has grown steadily. It had become a length in excess of now 3 feet. Then, the water of the pond is strangely moving, was felt as something bigger to come lifted. Black monster has reared its ugly newton head, refers past also as 1 meter or more, and black cylindrical. Its surface is not flattened. From towards the corner, had popped out a little while ago of the periscope. After all, it is felt, such as the top of the conning tower of the submarine, in such a small pond. Or will the submarine had sunk? Is a real submarine? No, you do not have him not. This only thing. That thick cylindrical cylinders just move in and out. And this is to the destination. It has become the only one of the doorway. In terms of the destination, this is where some of the things to show to you. It is heaven and hell. Agile Kageotoko was sash quickly its meaning. The purpose of the place. It is in the depths of the earth. Then, the cylinder in this pond. The entrance to it, since always is submerged in the pond. And there is a doorway to a place like this. I do not think nobody, the cylinder, put out the neck on new in the water surface some night. He and out of the people from there. If the use uninhabitable, also hidden to the bottom of the pond, it will be with that alertness. And, to move this cylinder is, to will that you are also motor. Take a very cost the secret to try to keep you so much. Will look like exactly, Kageotoko is, and think so, to bursting likely curiosity, was finally chest of dance. Underground of the ocean, when the cylinder diameter 1 meter of iron extending enough water 2 feet. The lid of the circular steel plate flat portion of the upper opens up and pack hinged. Include the iron bridge you among them extend a wood like the took on the shore of the rock of the pond. That to the next, from the cylinder, man who came up yes. In the eyes accustomed to darkness, the figure is divided seen enough. The man, wearing just the right kind of black shirt and pants under that attached to the body. It is a protective color of the night. Also will those flights is stuck in a narrow cylinder. Kageotoko also, because it utilizes well this kind of protective coloration of the shirt, was able to judging immediately its meaning. As a black man, over my iron bridge you now, and go up on the shore. It has been approached to here. The old man is a being here with his guests. Is a state that knows well. Stand up also towards the old man. I greeted the man, but had a stood talking with something boso. Soon be turned toward Tanamura of Kageotoko. Was still in a whisper. Brought together the black man. From now on, this person is the usher. Money. Later. Please pass on this person. Eagle will excuse me in here. Who is this person? When the Kageotoko asks, old man waving his hand. The name does not have something. But, you're the one who guides to Wonderland. The Wonderland. But there are a lot of people. Everyone's not the name. Also more of Anta. The name you do not need to ride. This man. Trust the eagle. Receive the Anta. Anta is should I do with trust this guy. That is the charm of adventure. Quote. The old man seems to have laughed and grinning. And, I had it, went away to somewhere. Man of the black shirt that remains after us take the hand of Kageotoko. How to hear, saying, led to more of the iron bridge you. That voice is still youthful. 30 was a feeling of before and after. And silently keep up with. Cross the iron bridge you. Climbed on top of the cylinder. There's round a mouth is open. Even in this the ladder is located on the vertical. I get off it. Black man. Went entered into the hole feet first. Multiplied by the voice from below. Kageotoko even follow it out the inside of the ladder of the cylinder. When they came would enter into the barrel. Automatically. It slid bridge outside of the iron you are into the barrel. Overlaps with a vertical ladder. Then, the lid of the round iron is tight. Inside became a true darkness. Made to feel like riding the elevator. In other words, its cylinder is sunk into the pond. Although the two have stood each other stuck the body at the bottom of the narrow cylinder. And subsidence of the cylinder stops. The wall of the front of the iron of the eye refers to the silver light, such as lowering the yarn to the vertical. If their go is getting thicker, part of the cylinder the wall is making it to the door. It is open. It seems the other side is equipped with electric light. As the door is opened, the light comes insert. At the bottom of the pond, seemed cylinder is set to double. The entrance is also a double door. It is also open. Not never things like water leaks. When they came out from there, the double door is loose in nature. Will make you feel that has been sealed finally to the depths of the earth. There was like a cave which imitates the natural rock and cement. Where is dim lamp light is light that side. Looking at the light, the wearing of the black man was found to be underpants and black velvet shirt, wearing a black velvet mask blindfold even in the face. There is a branch road of rock near the entrance of the cave. But the door of the iron had gone. The man opened it, was guided into. There is still a small basin and surrounded by rock walls of concrete. Is put a simple desk and a long chair or two legs. On top of the desk is writing the phone and stationery. On one rock wall switchboard is attached. It is lined up Sura and switches. The two have toward the bottom of the chair, facing. A deal here. Please put out a 500,000 yen. Man of masked, said in unfriendly clerical tone. Remains to be said, and handed the wad. Now, when you try to ask questions, your opponent raise your hand to stop it. No, is useless even if what to ask. Eagle is the gatekeeper. The gatekeeper is not supposed to answer any. Before long, you'll come when it comes to you can see everything. It is a guy that's suspense and thrill. Please enjoy slowly otherworldly underground first out of here. I want if to come to the back to the back. It is a single road. Then, in the, will be your meeting to soon beautiful guides. This will excuse me, quote, since waiting to open the door of iron. Could not help but out. Upon exiting to the original cave, the door was shut snugly in the back. As was said, there is no other walk to the back where in the dim light I do not know if there is a light source. Artificial rock wall looks as it is a natural cave. There the bodo walking go to the alone. Really lonely. After a while go, I was approached to etc. Or cave is bent. Upon exiting poppy excessive. Things stood white in front of the eye. It was also expected of the shadow man but beautiful enough to stop saying up. Black rock before Dano. Naked beauties stood. Black hair remains were lowered in the back. It is a natural maiden's. Not clothed also a she to wear. A woman of Japan. Was enough to be suspected of whether there is such a proportioned body. Face also was beautiful. It is not even a little bit of shame. Approaching and smiling to laughing. Amazed, and standing blankly erect. Virgin taking his hand. Remains silent. Will lead to somewhere. Here also keep up and fell silent as dumb. I went out to the location where a little wide of the cave. Virgin shed hand to somewhere in the rock wall. Part of the eye in front of the rock starts to move and sway to swaying. Was a big hole there. That is, the door of the rock is opened. Warm wind that grazes the cheek. Some of Awana. A cloud rolls in one side of white smoke. Before long, it is not a smoke. It was found to be steam. Virgin has been drawn into the steam the Kageotoko. Then, appeared out of nowhere as the version of the same figure of the now alone. I began to undress his clothes. Futari Kakari. As a beautiful highwayman, from shirts to undershorts, I got stripped, and he is attached to the inside of the hot water, such as a hot spring that has been praised in between the rocks, and crawls from it enough warm. Now is being laid in smooth cutting board rock. Futari of virgin palm systemic rubbing. Who drop the red, and also entered the hot water. Go up and me wipe clean the body of water. New shirt and undershorts. Me dress costume with a perfect body of black velvet on it. Same thing as the earlier of the gatekeeper was wearing. Maidens only laugh smiling. Word did not hear the mouth. Kageotoko did not deliberately say things. However, for enough to each others was enough. Forget the words of the human world. Drop the red of the human world, and replace also clothes of people world. Dunati now becomes the otherworldly inhabitants of the underground. The step up is quite alright. I like, if it is this sentence. This world of designers. Must guy who nifty differently. Completely out of the bath to go to you. Then, behind him, the door of the rock is loose fit. Futari of the maiden had hidden in it, because he does not know the sub to open a rock, as it is the original cave. There was no other walk to the entrance opposite direction. The width of the cave becomes narrower as it goes. The ceiling is low. It has been turned into a tunnel of about passed by barely human beings alone. Lighting also will gradually dim. Finally it had been closed to all of the darkness. However, Kageotoko did not hikasa. This is also because I thought that there is no difference in the calculated Takumi Tomo of the designers of this world. After a while ago that narrow dark road had finally become a dead end. Per was true of darkness. When I searched her hand, right also it is rugged rocks before left. The gap is not nowhere. Such as passed through. Still, he did not hikasa, or in anticipation of everything. It had stopped staring into the darkness. His forecast was hit. The front of the rock is moving to a smooth stop and horizontal. Could gaping passage there. Here awaiting the door of the rocks. It is open to the self-operatively. Behind the open rock, there was a steep uphill stairs. I went up it without hesitation. Up quailed. Field of vision was Hirake the package. Oh, bloody hell. There is. As long as overlooking was the midst of Saigai no ocean. It has happened that impossible. Dizziness and vertigo was Wizard of Blindinger. Or I'm from the best. Was not much kept dreaming. Imposing and sound crashing of the waves had sounded. The sky is lush Hariwatari. There was no cloud of 1 point. Much of the horizon had been gone while the roundness of the earth. Ice road as long as the island without any of the ship without. However was only the sky and the water. Looking at the feet, he is standing as a rock of about 3 square meters. Well, when did the exile has been? On top of the rock, such as the point of among the ocean. It has been strained of only one person up. If he looked up at the just above the head, to know that there is something like a round large shade is. Or the kind of roof is hanging in the air of about Iligami 3 meters. This magic quickly it would have realized the secret. It's like a round roof. Or had fallen earth from anywhere. My no way there then had been drifting in the air. There was any secret of this blinding. Kageotoko about the wisdom of person. But this is not supposed to. Not tired of care. However, the prompt block could not afford to think up there. Cave of the underground was just being mysteriously. Just to cure hate was transformed and quickly, in the absence of Saigai in the ocean. At that time, the sea in front of his eyes immediately, a mysterious phenomenon has occurred. And I think it was just strange to wave its location. Terrible giant fish tail fin is. Raise the white spray. Its tail fin had the size of a carp of May climbing. Fin as well. The lower body of the fish was dancing in the waves. One by one of the scales shining in silver. There was also about 1 kun. No, it happened to be more surprising than that. Its huge fish had a human face, and Harari rebelled himself. When Genwa the upper body on the surface of the water. The upper body was a beautiful human female, dazzling. Black hair had been drifting in the waves. Two beautiful hands flashed in the sky, on top of a scale's lower abdomen. White two of the breasts was rising mori, also line of the neck beautifully. The face that is except from between the wet black hair was Arashika ravishingly. Its face, showing teeth like pearls from red lips, smiled with him the smile of Iwakami. It was a one animal of the beautiful mermaid. Water Juwa. Before long, again, to the surface of the sea choppy. Coming lifted things from the bottom of the water, smooth stop, and the white was visible. And what came out on the surface of the water? Was this also a beautiful mermaid? Customers gave me welcome you. Now, Watakushia's snow will guide you to the bottom of the sea. One animal of the mermaid, and cocking a kokubi, while laughing, fascinating, spoke. Because at the bottom of the sea, I'm human, not pomegranates, also to something the bottom of the sea. Kageotoko is squatting on the rocks of the shore. He answered while watching the two dogs of the mermaid took a tamagawari. No, it is, you will find it easy. Watakushias also. When you dive into the sea, know you use this kind of thing. Also to your customers. Give you against this mermaid we show to give you a kind of transparent mask. Wearing it to the beautiful face of their own. Eyes, mouth, was a nose. It seems crystal clear plastic obscure the ear mask. In the mask they have a still transparent and flexible thin tube. The tip of the tube, which was also comes with an oxygen cylinder of transparent small mermaid who had tied the bomb to the armpits. Customers also, if you're wearing this, know you will need in any number of dives to the bottom of the water. 2 Little Mermaid, Hyagari to the rock of the shore, and in the form that was sitting on the water's edge, and a transparent mask and the bomb, who put in his face and armpits. Tanamura of Kageotoko is forms of friendly mermaid who is allowed to leave. Now, Watakushi, we will give you pull your hand. Then, let's come to see the wonders of the bottom of the sea. Taking a hand from both, he floated himself into the sea. It was not cold at all, but warm water raw enough people's skin, and black velvet clothing with a perfect body is what is entered in the rubber in. Was not impervious to any water, and neck and wrist have tightened tightly in the ankle. There was no such thing as from which water is shimiru. Appearance of the black velvet of human beings is sandwiched between 2 dogs of beautiful mermaid. It sank to the seabed. Tomo sherbet the body to become a likely lift. Both sides of the mermaid gave me down, pulled to the bottom down skillfully. Seemed oxygen cylinder into the mask is leaking moderately. It was not stuffy at all. Regardless of the apparent bottom of the sea in the neighborhood were shallow. The grazing in the bottom of the rock, mermaid who went let him. There was a forest of giant seaweed in the way. Plant width 1 feet was also similar to the kelp, which is also 2 feet. It is, as in the mane of the behemoth, had countless fluctuates. Mermaid is a way through the forest of the slimy algae. After a while ago, seaweed becomes sparse, but came to the other side of the outlook. Listen, there is such as say, even with the valley of the submarine, had been in a deep depression, more towards the bottom after dark, but I did not know, only dimly, through a layer of the blue water. What an exceptionally strange has been watched. Rock of black slopes mites are some of the huge flower bloomed. It is also in this of any plant, such as never seen even once, was Juwa of beautiful pink to eerie. Gradually as it approaches, its pink flowers has looked more and more huge. The across 4 meters was the flower of bizarre 5 valve, which is also thought to whether it will, where you hit the center of the seab. I was laughing beautiful face of 5. Its face is all but an example that wore the mask of transparent vinyl was found at a later. The long distance. Do not become a transparent mask is a bit too disturbing. the face of blatant 5 beautiful woman. Rocket was in close contact with the skin. 5 of naked beautiful woman is thus with each other as the head, radially, was lying at length, belly from her breast. 2 of pink feet aligned is had each become one of the petals. It was a submarine of human flowers, or was a huge beautiful starfish. The person flowers, also towards the more bottom of the valley, bloomed about 2. It the bottom, but unexpected looks dark, everywhere in the valley, was conceived as the is not this huge man flowers are in bloom. Dim blue stagnant in the bottom of the water it, beauty and horror of pink of human flowers, was something that Zesuru a metaphor. It was a dream of opium de Kuinji. Kageotoko also in any nightmare, had never seen this much yoi huge beauty. Black velvet shadow man and 2 dogs of the mermaid began to drop toward from just above the person flowers. At that time, a huge long such as twom or another scaring went across the front of you eyes. Thickness near 20 centimeters and a length of python is also 5 meters. Not supposed to lives is such a big snake in the sea. All of this also I must to those artificial but against the background of the jewel of beauty. The Auguroi water, flashing scales and dull silver. Sight of snakes go across while twist and in twisting himself. Again it was breast dance yoi. When the snake is 2 passes over the huge human flowers. Raise the foot of the 5 pairs of pink on top and Q. Bent about break in 2 at the waist. Flowers in the form that Suban. As leaves of Nemu is Sabomu. Or, as moth violets Sabomu. It was in response to external stimuli. Looking at it from the top, it is a head of tens of feet, gathered in the center to hide the face of 5. As of heart-shaped 5 was the bud of the flower of pink that became the outer ring. As the snake go down toward the bottom, bare of people flowers, but in the form of the same bud. Before long, the time disappear into the snake bottom deep darkness. Suban's human flowers also is with. It was to open wide the package. Kageotoko is away from the hands of the 2 dogs of the mermaid. A black bee figure yearns the pollen of the face of a smiling 5. When on a smooth stop toward the center of the human flower, face of the transparent mask 5 was laughing like a flower with red lips and white teeth. But the laughter was the temptation to plunge the prey to Dokushu. Approaches the face of him or 5. 10 arms of beautiful women is extending like a starfish legs. The black velvet of the body got caught in binding firmly from all sides. Then 5 pairs of feet in Suban and Q. His body was gone crowded wrapped in the petals. It became a moth violets of giant pink. It became a figure of starfish wrapping prey. Moth violet also starfish put out the venom after having killed the prey, but he absorbs. This person flower was not secrete venom. Prey is the unexpected can also stuck. It just has been wrapped in the meat group of pink. Face Kageotoko is at a transparent mask. It was in contact with one face of 5. On the proximity of the front of the eyes eloquent. He was laughing red lips with white teeth. Big eyes that woolen in affection were staring at here. Tens of arms of naked hugged his body. The thighs of tens of pink war strangled his body. It was a warmth that stuffy, and he had tasted the heart of the baby that drowsily dozing off in the breasts of the mother. Soon, he is in the human flower that Suban was attached to the sleep of the truth. One of the hands of the people flowers moved the cylinder of the screw of his armpits. There is something planted there. Completely changed the quality of the gas to be sent in his mask. Was probably the effect of the anesthesia. He was in the seabed of the human flesh of flowers. Fell asleep on the senselessness. He also between them had continued to look at the sweet opium dream of brilliant colors. Kaleidoscope is Gara. To turn the Gara, the color of all the primary colors had to fill his brain. Booty Mountains did just how much of the time, and suddenly notice, there is no longer a sea of bottom. He had completely entered into another dimension. There was another universe out there. It was a mysterious mountain as far as the eye can see. Though his reason was denied it, it could not also be to do with the front of the eyes of the facts. Rather than anesthesia dream of, the world's only reality to the mountain was there. He remembers that there is a Tokyo underground. In the basement, there was a Taiyo no interminable as far as the eye can see. And, also now, in the underground mountain, the mountain had been followed as far as the eye can see. Not a dream. He was apparently awakening. If not a dream, is a magic that was absolutely the human understanding. The earlier of 500,000 yen was the admission to the underground of the magic of the country. He was still wearing a velvet shirt. It were not any more wet. Also a bomb transparent masks. It had been imperceptibly removed. Then, lying on top of something soft ones, had views of the mountain which is not known result. The sanyo is. It was not of this world. Blue tree did not fly even one. It was not just a bald mountain. There is a dizzying shadow was a mess. The hole in such as painted in face powder was a mysterious mountain. From the scenery, incense chiffon such as sobbed convulsively it had drifted up. And, more strange thing is, all the mountain incessantly was felt on whether the crawling wriggling. The front of the eyes has become a steep foot of the mountain. He was lying on the bottom. From a distance of sanyo, when you move your eyes in front of the foot of the mountain, eyes in a myriad of the mountain, and countless lips, it has been found that there are a myriad of hands and feet. The black things appear as dots as Kasuri was the hair of women. Overlapped thighs on top of the face, entangled in arm and arm. Good buttocks of smooth kukuas was exposed to countless. It was a mountain of human flesh, a stack of naked woman. It not may also ikusen tens of thousands. It was not a mountain of corpses. It was all alive. Alive had been stacked. Kageotoko is. Finally when I noticed it, mouth had blankly opened naturally. Then, while opening the big mouth, such as dementia, he had been fascinated landscape of this overwhelming Shingaikyo. Soft valley bottom that he was lying, was found to be constituted by the still body of a woman. It was faint, wriggling like a cradle. Warm, was filled with incense chiffon. Also lay a myriad of smiling beautiful face there. The entire ground, and a face like a flower, in the body of Subekoi pink, was smiling towards him. It's directly in front of the woman's body large. A face also was found clearly, in accordance with the move toward the top of his eyes from the foot of the mountain. Face no longer be divided, seen small, melted into a series of whitish female body and hay to one side it was crowded. It is the spectacle that followed indefinitely until the summit, that hazy and far-off sky, is a spectacular that unspeakable, was even rather divine. Also Kageotoko, the rougher look at the back of this world, and no matter is hidden so much of wonder in Tokyo underground, was to fall short of even think. Spread the infinite ocean in the basement, lined with endless mountain range in the basement, and build the mountain range by the body of a woman. The number of the female body is several thousand, tens of thousands would be still unexpected enough even the count. But the hell is this about the woman? It would where was collected hunt from all of those underground configuration, even with the wealth of any kings of ancient times, or would not be a place which is not reach far. Thing is not impossible in today's world. Moreover, not a dream, any magic. It is not possible to produce so much of wonder. He was wrapped in a woman's body and smelled the sob convulsively, wriggling against the plump limbs, was the only man drifting in the ocean of human flesh. He is perfect in a light appearance of black velvet ballerina attached to the body rise to the top of the body of a woman. It began climbing toward the slope of the female body to the summit. At the bottom of the foot, has been continuous as subekoku soft myriad of curved surface. Breasts trembling, ass distortion, slippages compromised foot between the thigh. But beautiful Hoihana even trampled also. Bootius had to silence endure the pain. Those that make a cry was not a man. 5 in the number of the woman's body. When it climbed even 6 people. An unexpected accident has occurred. 2 of the woman's body is, and I think it has a little stuck, can narrow groove in the meantime. His feet were stuck in the groove. At the same time, shaking booty of its sides integral to loose. Groove opens the increasingly large mouth. Between think up. His body went died in bottomless pit of human flesh. Booty under the woman's body has not overlapped in several layers. Painfulness of the underlay of the body of a woman was omoiara. To the dark crevices of the vortex of the woman's body. He whole body of Kageotoko is sinking slowly. Front and back, left and right, in all aspects of the upper and lower, have been continuous as subekoku and soft curved surface. Black velvet of the body of man, while being crushed in their curved surface, were being sucked into a bottomless depth, and the hot air of the woman's body, and chiffon, and aromatic, to the bottom of the sweet field, were being sucked deeper and deeper. At that time, to shake the whole mountain, what happened is terrible roar. Several thousand tens of thousands of woman's body is, in unison, he began to laugh, charming, become a large chorus as Kyosho of red lips, Triktoko from peak to peak. The whole world went wrapped in a spiral of tremendous laughter. Kayamiki, Kageotoko wood again was feigning. What is the time to go from it has passed, and suddenly awake? There is also another dimension to it. There was another dream of the country. There was a country of thin darkness of Omagatoki. It was thought whether booty mountains have continued, but was not necessarily the case. He at that time, in soft and warm slope, had been leaning throwing the foot. It is not even on the sofa in the armchair. It was a huge cushion. Not know something of the enigmatic. He stood up, and observed what he had been leaning. White huge curve, head wavy. The sudden, it has no idea whether what do you form. Although it felt like one of the big room. Ceiling, wall also, the floor without any, there entirely is, was covered in strange curves and surfaces. Wool from the previous association, and staring, their curved surface has been expanded to dream of opium. Felt like a limb of a giant naked woman. Countless bulges that hanging from the ceiling like the cave. There is or will be a flock of chichibuas. There is a huge arm. There is a huge armpit. There is a woman of lips that was piled to the cushion. He had been leaning up to now. It was prone of Nesugata of giant naked woman alone. Surface seems is covered with rubber or vinyl. There is a smooth and elastic. What kind of trick of the body temperature even was also in it? It is laid face down 10 times of great stature of the real thing. He began throwing the feet in a comfortable position of Matamoto. There was a huge thigh to his sides. Doing it in the armrest. Leaned a vortex high buttocks of Koyama and velvet back and head of peach cracking behind. Wrapped in moderate elasticity and temperature in the twilight of thin darkness, was a limp. Suddenly, the walls of the package and the front has become bright. Lights are stage lighting from where he threw the light. Even though the front of the wall, there was also covered with huge Naru curved surface of rubber or vinyl. All the every part of the body of a woman appeared to be modeled vaguely into the white light. It appeared the young men and women of the nude. Whole body seemed subjected to a cosmetic. A woman's body is light as white as tanned. Man of the body shines. Shiny golden brown. Winding a band of skin at the waist with futari. Silver handle. A dagger of silver sheath was turned down. From somewhere, it has been heard faintly orchestra. Man and woman is divided into left and right. Posed to enter the dance. Ease of sound. While increasing the increasingly sound. Gently. It's Gennady and gorgeous. It as graceful dance of men and women has progressed. Two of the body of the golden brown and white. Or away. Or a hug. Woman's body is dedicated to the overhead of the man. Routed round and round to take a hand. Supple fall. Man no shikakari on it. Spell of hand in yellowtail. woman dreams to entrancing appearance. Before long, the music began to Kyucho. Woman's body is caused, is hugged enraged. Fury Hodoi butt is maiden. The man jumped up. A woman fell out, rotating like a top. No Tauchi like a snake. Tangled Miwari tumbled te. If Hasher fled as woman of the wind. Man oi Sugaru as ghouls. Ya music further turn presents the appearance of madness. The tube sounding disconnect the dagger of the waist was relative. Then, it continued even more violent dance. Futari body is, or away, or each time the contact. Smooth stop in earnest, also devoted, in the skin of golden brown. In pure white skin, river flow red blood it was. Stare Kageotoko admired hit the hand in this exquisite tastes. Insofar I'll marvel of, just there is a color that is missing one. It was a deep red color. It was the stimulation of blood. Now, the blood is about to be washed away. His heart is, what things are his spoken solved from, began dancing and pounding. Instinct of primitive man is, his resurrection in the body, had been screaming a chest full of joy. Music culminated in the dance even violent. White female body is, Mawari escaped tigers den Marabitsu. Sasungeki, went jumps over the man as gale. Tooth the dagger has signed off in the air. Glitter and glare as lightning. Man body, the woman's body both, even forehead, even cheeks, even the shoulder, even arms, even breasts, also belly, to be back, to be hip, to also know, even in the thigh, a myriad of red streaks regard to any point of the whole body. Vivid blood flowing from there, as the dance, or diagonally, or in horizontal or vertical, flow, creating a beautiful mesh, had exhausted covers the futari of the whole body. Despite the less violent dance, men and women was laughing happily. Hurt, that is hurt is, appeared to be even in the best of joy for them. Gleefully fled running, oi sugary, overlapping, rolling in, and place to place hugging each other. But, each time of hamstrung, futari wound went more and more, longer, face and body wet with fresh blood of one side. The two of looked like a huge red nightshade. Man's face, woman's face, which was dyed bright red. It was laughing, or else they were laughing merrily. Approaching in front 1 feet of Kageotoko, become a close-up of cinemascope, was Kyoemi while hanging the red drool. Crimson blood laughter, crimson blood dance. To be continued. Thank you for your viewing. If you like, please subscribe to the channel. I am very encouraged.